Hey guys, welcome back to my sewing room. I'm Kelly and you found me here on Pick and Stitches, and today I got a new box in from Fat Quarter Shop. I cannot wait to jump into this sew sampler and see what we got. All right guys, last month was a really fun box. I cannot wait to see what they have given us this month. We've definitely had some things lately that are kind of out of our more traditional wheelhouse. There we go. Uh-oh. I think I know what it is. Okay, so it says Patchwork Prairie. And this is our October 2025 box. I think it's probably a little bit of Lori Holt fabric. Let's see, was I right? Okay. Oh, that's cute. I've done this one before. Sorry, I'm like a squirrel today. I got completely sidetracked. So our coupon on this one, because I forgot to mention it last month, is we get a free 16-inch wooden ruler rack if we have a purchase of $65 or more. So it's going to be this rack right here that you can use to hold your rulers in. But look at this pattern, you guys. I've been wanting, oh, wrong side, this one. I've been wanting to make this pattern since last fall, so I'm sure I'll like the pattern that's in the box, but if you don't, it is really nice to get these extra free patterns that you can do off of the Fat Quarter Shop. And you don't even have to have the sew sampler to be able to do some of those patterns. So I'll put a link in the description to this pattern because it should be a free pattern on their website, I think, unless they've changed something. Okay. So let's see what we've got. Oh, you know what? I was wrong. It is not Lori Holt. See? This is why you don't make assumptions, because you know what they say about that. It makes something out of you and me. Okay. So this is a Riley Blake line. So we'll get into the fabric in just a minute. Oh, fun. Okay. So this is a magnet mate. This is saying on the back, it says, no needle left behind. The cute, handy notion is telescope. Oh, okay. So it extends to okay, we're going to give this a try. I think I lost my recording. So this is called, what is it called? It's the Sewing Magnet Mate. It says no needle left behind. This cute and handy notion telescopes to 30 inches to snag pins. No need to bend over and pick those up off the floor. So that will be a handy assessment. You know when this will come in really handy. I mean, I'm sure if you have mobility issues, then of course it will be beautiful. But I often drop stuff under the table, and crawling all the way to the back of the cabinet is kind of harder. So that's a really long reach for us, guys. Very nifty. And I think you could pick up a variety of things, not just needles and pins, but your seam ripper or anything that has some metal on it. So what a great attachment. Oh, it's a cute one. It's a little one. Add a quarter. So this has the 1/4 inch lip. So this is not, okay, this is not the add a quarter plus. So what I like to use, where's mine? You know, where is it? You guys, my sewing room is such a disaster right now. It's not even funny. Funny story, guys. Guess where it was? I put it up. That's where it was. And I'm always looking for it in this drawer because this drawer is where I put everything. It's like the junk drawer in your kitchen. And that's not where it was. I put it away. Okay, so this is the add a quarter. This is what we got in the box. What I have used historically has been this add a quarter plus. It has this kind of beveled edge, and I like to use that edge for my, not English paper piecing, my triangles on a roll, any of our foundation paper piecing items. I like to use that to help crease my papers. So this is just the add a quarter, and that says, so you can use it with rotary cutter templates. You can prevent template shaving. Okay, so if you have a template that you want to cut out, you could even use this. I had heard a lot of people using this to add a quarter to the outside edge of their quilt, like if you wanted to leave a little bit more batting and backing, and then when you sewed your binding on, your binding would be kind of fuller and puffier, although this length is a little bit shorter. But it's great to give a quick little trim, and this is perfect for travel size. So if you have a kit that you take with you to retreats or sew with a friend, that will be a nice little addition. And definitely with those smaller templates, if you're doing some piecing that requires you to cut out the paper template, this will keep you from cutting those templates. Oh, you guys, I still don't know what our pattern is, but you know me, I love foundation paper piecing. This is the square and a square. Yes, square and a square. I always want to call the economy blocks a square and a square, and these, yeah, back and forth. Okay, so let's get into our pattern. So this is called Pie Safe. So what you're going to need is that junior 10-inch stacker, which is the fabric that we got, and then 5-inch square and a square quilt block foundation paper piecing. So we have two different sizes here. We have 2 yards for backing if we're going to make the runner, and we have 3.5 yards for backing if we're going to make the quilt. And the quilt is 52 by 52 and a half, and the table runner is 19.5 by 60 3/4. So let's see, what else do you need for the table runner? For the table runner, you're going to need 2/3 of a yard of background, and then we're going to need a fat quarter of accent, 1/2 yard for the border, and then 5/8 of a yard for the cornerstones and the binding. If we decide to do the quilt, we're going to need 1 additional Pie Safe evening on the Prairie Junior 10-inch stacker. So this is going to be 24 inches that we get. That's enough to do the table runner. If you want to do the actual quilt, you're going to need to have a second one of these, or if you have, like me, a bit of a stash problem, any of your 10-inch squares, you would be able to mix and match if your color patterns played nice. So you could definitely do this to use up some of the items in your scrap bin, but if you want it to be exactly like it is in the pattern, you're going to need to order a second round. I'm sure there are finishing kits available from Fat Quarter Shop that will include that for you. So yeah, Pie Safe table runner. Okay, so we got our square and a square, and then last but not least, we have our block of the month for this month. Oh, these are going to be some fun, cute blocks to make. That's going to be a good one. So let's get into the fabric. All right, sorry guys, I've got too many things everywhere. It's been one of those months, but I'm finally getting some time back in the sewing room. And I think it was last week I said I really wanted to like almost have a snowstorm so I could get back to my stuff I wanted to do inside. And while we have not had a snowstorm, we have had so much rain this entire week that we have been in the house. And I honestly have gotten so many things done. You know, if only I didn't have to drive kids to swim team, it would have been easier. All right, so let's take a look. Okay, I'm not saving that anyways. I'm not my fabric. There we go. Okay. So this is our junior layer cake. And I will iron these out. I know sometimes it's really hard to see these when they're all wrinkly and the light's funny, but we've got a good variety of colors here. I think they said 24 pieces is what we get in this set. So that's kind of a fun, it's not monochrome, but it's very limited colors in that. So it's a very fun kind of different take on some of these more detailed prints, I guess. Oh, that's fun. Almost reminds me of the pokeberry bush I cut down that was trying to grow where it wasn't wanted in my garden yesterday. I like that plaid a lot. That's really pretty. Almost like a bluish pewter. I like that. Oh, that's fun too. Got some nice kind of creams and purples and greens pulled together here. And it's a little bit more of a traditional colorway. I mean, we're not having the bright, bright white. I don't know. Let's see what I use this with my background that I use all the time. It's pretty white. I think I could probably still get away with it with that 98 from the Bella Solids, but it probably isn't the best match. But again, that's kind of the beauty of getting that whole bolt of the same fabric is that it's very cost effective to use. And actually, I think it's going to look fine with this. Gonna look fine. I like that. Kind of purpley. overall, and it's a really small print, so it's going to look great when we get these into smaller blocks too. If you decided not to do the original pattern and go with this one, I guess we're not doing too much. I think that's a lot of half square triangles and then our squares, so that shouldn't be too bad either. Little mauve. Oh, I like that a lot. Now see, that reminds me a lot of a Lori Holt's Prairie line for some reason. I like this one too. I like that green. Yep, I like these a lot. I like the plaids a lot. I think this is going to come together and be a really nice quilt or table runner or whatever you choose to make with it. Ooh, that's pretty. See, usually that's the first print you would see, is the one that has all of the color depth in it. I like that a lot. That feels really fallish. Really nice. And some sunflowers. I mean, I guess all throughout it's been sunflowers, but now you really see the color contrast. It pops as a sunflower. But then with it only being one square, it's not going to make the whole pattern feel over the top. But it definitely feels like fall. Okay. All right, so just to double check and make sure I didn't forget anything, wrap yourself in the warmth of the season with Pie Safe Evening on the Prairie Junior. On the Prairie Junior. Why did I not get this? It's by Melissa Gilbert, the beloved star of Little House on the Prairie, filled with harvest florals, woodland foliage, rustic plaids, and cozy autumn hues. This 24-piece stacker captures the heart of the harvest days and crisp evenings on the prairie. Awesome. Okay. So that explains that. I just kind of associate everything that says prairie with Lori Holt, but of course, Melissa Gilbert has some dibs there too. Okay, so we have that, which is a $22.98 value. We have our pin sewing magnet. That's a $13 value. We have our square and a square paper foundation paper piecing. That was redundant. Square and a square foundation paper. That's a $10 value. We have our Pie Safe pattern. That pattern is valued at $10 as well. Then we have our add a quarter ruler. That's valued at $8.98. And then we have our flowering quilt along block, which is valued at $5. All right, guys, that's it for this unboxing. I'm really excited to jump into this project with you all. I definitely think with the Fat Quarter Shop Sew Sampler, you get your value for your dollars. It's a $30 box, and then I think it's a $5 shipping. And again, they do offer those finishing kits. So if you like to have everything that matches out of the same fabric line, absolutely, I would suggest taking a look at that. I'll put a link in the description for you if that helps you find what you're looking for. But if not, I think you could actually supplement straight out of your stash because all of these pieces are going to be smaller. Let's see, for the 5-inch square block, the rest of the block, the 5-inch squares ought to all be pretty small. So when we go to cutting these, you're going to need 4.5-inch squares to cut it. So any scrap that you have that's 4.5 inches wide, you could use to make these squares. And then for the rest of the blocking, let's see, what's my biggest piece? Okay, so I see 2.5 by 5.5, 2.5 by 12.5. So again, this is like a perfect way to use up all the strips of fabric you have in that 2.5-inch bin, and then anything that's in your 5-inch bin if you kind of organize them that way. So I hope this unboxing was helpful. If you do like watching any of my unboxings or other tutorials, please do hit that like and subscribe button. It helps me out a ton. And until then, I will see you guys next time. Hey guys, just wanted to jump back in real quick. I was looking at the pattern and it looks like there is probably about 13 additional pieces that you would need of your 10-inch squares to do the lap quilt versus the table runner. So you may have a little bit extra left over from the table runner. I haven't looked at the math on what we might have left, but you definitely can work out of your stash bin to get those extra 13 10-inch squares because we all have a scrap bin that can accommodate that. So I just wanted to add that in because I know a lot of people were kind of looking forward to doing maybe a whole quilt pattern. And then again, really guys, I'm pretty excited about that additional pattern, layer cake. What's it called? Where'd it go? Layer cake latte quilt. I think that's going to be a fun one to make as well. So definitely comment below. Would you rather see the layer cake latte or would you rather see this prairie pie safe? Pie safe, which is kind of fun because pies.